Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Hey there, Savage. Hello. Can't see anything. I have 42 ads and I'm only on 6. Uh, it's not meant to be 42 ads. It's only meant to be like, I don't know, the equivalency of 3 minutes in the first, like, what's-a-mahoozies. So then that way, you know, in the next hour, yeah, that way advertisements aren't supposed to start for like at least like they're ideally not supposed to start for another hour. Why in the world is that not showing correctly? That is not the first time that that overlay has decided to like not work properly with me, weirdly enough. It should look like that. It should look like that, where like all the like the banners and things like that go off to the side like so. So yeah, so now it should be working. Now if people start posting in here, it should like go, you know, boom, 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 Boom. Boom. Ah, Joe!
Think of a name with the 3-month tier 1 sub. Percent input percent.
Oh, I need to fix that. Because I left that in there. So, hang on. I have been trying to, like, I have put in the, like, the message into, like, the streamer bot, like, Discord about this issue where, the resub event doesn't actually, like, the resub event, they've stopped making it so that, oh, there's resub and resub with message. They've stopped doing that. Actually, hang on. What? Ow. So it did do the percent, but what? It's not in here. Sub with a message. Sub. Okay, so it is doing resub with a message, but for whatever reason, we've been trying to contact you about your extended warranty. Yeah, I've been trying to get to what's a Mahoozies.
26-month tier 1 sub. Percent input percent.
Yeah, so okay. So the way this was set up previously as sort of like a troubleshooting sake. Sorry, you're going to learn how the sausage is made here. Basically that's the message that speaker bot is grabbing. Percent name with the cumulative months tier sub message input. Now, so it grabs the name, it replaces it with the username, it grabs the cumulative months, it adds that in there, it grabs the tier level. Now, ideally, it should be grabbing the message, but it's not. It's not grabbing the message and leaving it blank. And then it goes and grabs input. So I don't know why, and I thought it was because of emotes, but no, even when you do a message without emotes, like what Savage has written with the 26-month hype, it still doesn't do it. So for the life of me, like, I'm at a bit of a loss of like why like percent message doesn't work. And when I go to their documentation, it doesn't tell it, like, it says, oh, you use percent message, and I'm like, is there any others you can use? And they're like, what others? There is no other, like, variables that you can use in the event type. Like, so you've got name, which is the name of the user who triggered the event. Like, apparently all of these events, like, every one of these events has these variables. Name, level, gift, sub-tier, title, cost, bits, amount, percent, currency tier, recipient, cumulative, message, input. Now, I've put in input. That does not work. Because as you heard, it just goes percent input percent. So, like, whatever the fuck is going on. Now comes the fun bit. Alright, hang on. So, now I need to go back down into StreamerBot. Let's see. Is there... recognizes and if there's a message, it says... And it's not just... it's simply... To just add message to the reset. It's empty when you do a resub. Also try with percentile input. Is there... any other... tag slash...
Joe couldn't think of a name, paid me to say percent input percent.
percent input. Is there, what's the word? Is there any other tag slash variables I could use in the resub slash resub with message event to grab the message in a resub? Like, I'm not, because I remember someone had an issue, and then I think one of the peeps they just suggested is like, oh, just make it again in StreamerBot, and I'm like, but I already have all the work done in SpeakerBot, and what's more is SpeakerBot has a table for nicknames, so then that way, if you apply a nickname to a user, it will just, you know, use that nickname, and I don't want to have to, like, fucking reinvent my TTS bot and, like, you know, stop, like, what's the fucking point of having SpeakerBot with the built-in events if it's not gonna, like, pipe them properly? It's very hand-holdy, and, yeah. Not great. Why am I bouncing at the bottom? Here? Because so while I'm on, so when there's an advertisement running, or I'm in the chatting section, you just pop up as a, like, an emote thing. So if I go, like, my character is gonna pop up. Yep, there he is. So now I didn't realize you had, like, fireball fists. So this is the problem with stream app. Like, so this is using intro fighters. I might use, like, a different program called Stream Avatars, because I've seen some people use that, and it just keeps, like, a whole bunch of them at the bottom. So, because, you know, when you come over to my chatting screen over here, you know, there's all this gap here that I could probably use. And then, yeah. And then these guys are, like, bouncing around and all that. But yeah, my god, like, I don't want to have to, like, reinvent all the SpeakerBot events in StreamerBot. Like, I feel like that's a waste. Either just do the update, which makes StreamerBot go into SpeakerBot. Oh, hang on. Is there, like, a new release? Now with your is not yet released. Instead, SpeakerBot is giving you under the hood. We added support for the vintage 11 Labs voices, streamlined Twitch gift handling, brain boost. Squash them. No, they didn't. New Sky, where a friend once flew. Thank you. If you wish to support this, even head over to Patreon and subscribe or higher. You'll get access to the alphas where you can try out StreamerBot 1.0 and its dark mode or support coffee. Cool. And that was back in April 11th. So it's been over a month since SpeakerBot has been updated. And yeah, it's been over a month since StreamerBot and SpeakerBot got updated. And from the looks of it, they're, like, heavily working on trying to get, they're trying to get StreamerBot 1.0 released. And, here's a preview of the Twitch point section for the new 1.0. Easy import from other bots like Streamlabs, StreamerBot mixing up, integrating, like, gambling, duels, and much more. For those, our quota has once again been increased. This means our late YouTube night should not be denied API access at the end of the day. It's given away more than 20 Patreon to the 1.0 alpha access. Retrieve your current stream game and then update it with your Twitch category. And then there's web sockets. Takes information from the Twitch viewer profile picture and a picture they typed in, and it can be displayed on the PixOoks. Yeah, so nothing just yet. So it looks like we're still it looks like we're probably not going to get any proper updates to StreamerBot/SpeakerBot until they release 1.0. And I do not know when 1.0 is being released, and I'm not exactly enthusiastic about, you know, going into a Patreon and what have you. I need to save my money anywhere I can. They could just make SpeakerBot part of StreamerBot. That's maybe what they're doing for 1.0. Alrighty, I'm gonna hop off for the night. Have an amazing stream. Not to worry, Jane. Thank you for dropping in real quick. Alright, let me get this stream started. Cracking open a cold one. Good news, by the by. I'm under 91 kilograms. Well, technically I'm 90.95s. And my scales can they're an accuracy of 0.05 kilograms. So, I am so close to getting under 200 pounds for all of you in the Imperial mode. So, hang on a second. So, 200 lbs to kg. So, in order to get under 200 pounds, I need to be less than 90.7. So, once I get to like 90.5 or something like that, I will officially be under I will officially be under 200 pounds. I am so close. I am really looking forward to it. Because here's the other thing as well. I didn't mention this yesterday because, you know, I wasn't streaming yesterday because I don't do streams on Fridays, even if it's my day off and what have you. But I had myself a bowl of popcorn. Now, some of you may be wondering, like, well, that's not very calorie heavy, is it? It is when it's the triple butter popcorn and a sachet of popcorn, you know, the one you put in the microwave and shit like that? That serves 4 people. So, sure, one serving is like 100 calories, which is like nothing in terms of consumption and such. But I ate that shit by myself. But, you know, I did it as sort of a reward / treat because, you know, I spent my morning running all over the place. I went to get a haircut, got my hair really short. I went back home. I got my bags. I went to the Chemist Warehouse to get my new shakes. Got back home. I went to the grocery store to pick up some more Pepsi Max raspberry flavor because no one went and purchased me Pepsi Max on my throne. Hi there, Incineroar. Welcome to the stream. Lord knows at some point I'm going to need to get that GIF, or I'm gonna need to get the animation file for that thing, because I know people will want it. My eyes! But yeah, funnily enough, I just checked, and you're a 240-pound man. So 240 lbs to kilograms is 108 kilograms. Righto, righto. Look, if you're over, like, you know, 5'11", that's not the worst value. But if you're like me, where, you know, I'm not 7 foot in real life. In real life, I turned out to be like 5'8" or something like that. Not too great. Here's my, and, you know, it is what it is. You're like 5'9". Yeah, you know. Wait, so you check. So you're 240 pounds at the moment. Does that mean that the weight has been going down, or has the weight been going up? I don't know which direction my viewers go. There's very many things I do not know about my viewers, such as their name, age, sexual orientation, and what have you. It's been going up. Ah, nah. So you're going. I know Obi-Wan tells R2 we need to be going up, not down. Down. Unfortunately, you want to be going down, not up. At least I want to be going down and not up. And I want to get to like a healthy sort of value. I don't want to get to a value that's like, you know, I don't want to just be like, you know, 74 kilograms and be like, yep, this is it, 74 kilograms. That is the BMI average, and I am totally healthy. Because the thing is like, I don't want to like lose muscle in order to do that either. Because right now I'm sitting on like what, like over 60 kilograms of muscle, and I kind of like that. Granted, most of it is darn you, Karulua. But yeah, was 220 quite a while ago, and then last time I checked, it was 230. But pounds goes up and down really quickly, right? Oh, actually, no, pounds doesn't, because I'm only at 2... So I'm at, like... I'm a little over 200 because of... Say, at 90, and you're at 100, and so there's an 18... There's an 18 kilogram difference between you and me, so 40... Depends how far away you've been checking each of the things. Because if it's like, you know, start of the week you were like 220 and then now you're 240, that's a lot of weight. But if it's like, you know, across a year and such, you mainly just want to build muscle, you're less worried about losing weight. Fair enough. And because of that goal, you have the benefit of, like, you don't have to worry about the weight as much as I worry about the weight because I'm not looking to build muscle. So, like, I'm able to, like, just sort of look at the numbers and look at those numbers, like, you know, body fat percentage, weight, BMI. I'm able to look at those. But yeah, for you, because you're looking to build muscle, the weight value isn't important. But so if your body fat has stayed the same percentage, then that would definitely mean that you are gaining muscle, which is a good thing. The 220 was a long time ago, and then 230 was a few months ago. Okay, so it's not been a dramatic rise then. It's not been a crazy rise. And if you've been trying to build muscle, it's most likely that, you know, your body is doing, like, you know, it's burning a little bit of fat, gaining a little muscle, burning a little bit of fat, gaining a bit of muscle. So even if you have, like, an overall rise in weight, there's a possibility that, you know, the muscle has been replacing some of the fat, and because muscle is denser than fat, you probably look the exact same, but you're now, like, more toned. You haven't really been working on building muscle yet. God damn it, I'm trying to make you fail better! Go get, nothing stopping you. Yes, my self-control. Sorry, Kahlua, So yeah, Kahlua, like, posted into their Telegram story. They're a line on the internet. Amazing line. Go check them out. They should be streaming at some point in the future again because I've helped them out with their graphics card. One of the like, I know I'm a fat fuck and I embrace it. Look, fair enough. I know the audience that I have. I understand the demographic that I get. I used to think if I was a swole zebra on the internet that I would get so many of the lady furs. Oh, how wrong I am. I don't get the lady furs. I get the bears, the otters, and the, whatever, like, you know, whatever nouns for, like, you know, the bisexual and gay furries that are just sort of like, oh, cool muscles, bro. That's fucking amazing. I love your cock. And I'm just sort of like, what? So, I kind of understand the demographic. Sorry, I'm sending a message to Kahlua. Anyway, I shouldn't be sending messages back and forth to Kahlua. What I should be doing is getting into Final Fantasy XIVs. So then that way I have an opportunity to get into the new patch content and what have you, because Lord knows if I don't, I am going to distract myself and we're never going to get into it. I need to get my butt into gear. So, save that, close that, move this into here, move this over there, move this over here, get the Final Fantasy running, get my username and password and type it in. Unfortunately, my password is really long, so I'm gonna need to copy it from my password manager. Bing, dong, bam, boom, bing, bong. Hit it. Alright, also, I need to close that, leave that one open, and then slap you over here, and then, minimize you, close you, we hit play, and at some point, it's gonna pop up on this screen. Mm-hmm. You're 135 pounds at the moment. You was 145 a couple months ago, but you got bronchitis and didn't eat much for a couple of days, and you lost about 15 pounds, and you've been gaining it back slowly. 135 pounds doesn't sound bad to me. Like, it would be nice if I was 135 pounds. Also, you may be wondering why I'm dressed up like a slut. That's because I was the monk class last I played this. Oh, server's congested. Yay, Goblin is congested. Also, I should probably mention that I'm on the, let me change my title really quickly to Crystal/Goblin. There we go. That way there's an understanding of, like, where exactly the Zeebs is. So, yeah, I should have been careful about this stuff. But, yeah, I have now maxed out my level across the 4 tank classes. But I am so far behind in the different DPS and healer classes. Oh my god, an ACCC light heavyweight tier 5 times. Complete Alexander Gordas 10 times. Slay 5 unique B elite marks and thingy-mandiggy. Time worn. Triumph in 10 matches in the Feast or Crystalline Conflict while taking on the role of tank. Satisfaction levels. Satisfaction level 5. Lancer level 40. Mine 1,000 times at level 21 to 30 mining deposits in Thanalan. Logging things in Lenosha. Alrighty, now comes the fun bit where I now need to figure out where the fuck I need to go for the some of the patch content. But first, gambling. Damn it. Alright, that's a little better. Maybe. Darn you, sir. Ah, fuck you. One of these days, while I'm on stream, I will get the hey, Savage. There he is. He saw me get on stream, and he saw me get in the game, and he's like, I know where I'm going. I just gotta do all this busy work first. I didn't entrust anything to you. The House Boral tea set. Oh, nice. I got myself a tea set. And then nothing goes into here. Oh yeah, and there's all the cruiserweight shit that I needed. I have not been keeping up with, like, you know, the cruiserweight nonsense. I probably should be dealing with that as well. Hey, look, another stuff alpha. Kinda already have plenty of those, but, you know, it is what it is. Ding dong. Ding, ding, ding. Alright. So now I need to figure out... Also, I'm guessing... Oh yeah, and then there's, like, the Raining Gold event that's going off here. But I can't take part in that right now. What I need to do... Hang on, let me just invite you into the party. Just in case you follow me around and what have you. What I need to do is I need to figure out... not in the Unlost World. Zoc Turel, Solution 9. You know what I should have done? I should have opened up the What's-a-Mahoozy guide. Hang on. That's what I should have done. I should have gone to Final Fantasy XIV, patch 7.25. Let me open it up in Opera GX, just so then that way we have a better time there. That way you can see 0.25 FF14. Alright. Ding dong. Let's have a quick read. Decline. Update. Yep, no, cool, we did that. Alright, playable content. So, quests. Playable content. There's a new site that's being added. The Occult Crescent at South Horn. You need to be at least level 100. It's over in Tuliol with the Expedition Messenger. Okay, cool. So we've got that one. And then it progresses down through there. Cool. And then we've got the Phantom Weapons, which is apparently... So that's in the Phantom Village. Hey, the inconceivably further Hildebrand adventures. That's what I was interested in going through. Crossroads and the quest, the case of the disciplined inspector. Yeah, they're over in Solution 9. Okay, let me minimize this. Yay, I set my thingy-majiggy as Solution 9. Pdoom. Alright, hopefully at some point Savage will pop up. Alrighty, so, Warrior of Light, Wrangler of Cats, something... Here's the thing, I don't know what color the Whatsamahoozy quest is, so I'm gonna deal with the first blue one that's here. I probably should have double-checked what the name of the quest was called. Wizened Testimony. Must complete Crossroads and the quest, the case of the displaced inspector. Alright, so we've got True View Values, Rousing, Problem Child of Solution 9. Oh, there's a triple triad match I could be going through. Where the fuck is the... Nope. Where the fuck is it? Also, I still have, like, the Realm of the Gods to deal with. Also, you can't see anything because... Yeah, there we go. I was hoping you can stop by. Oh, this is so then that way I can get the Savage level of the Cruiserweight, or lightweight stuff. Even so, Spectator, skip all... Oh my god, there's a dinosaur in the background. That's kind of cool. Dun, 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 dun. What if you dance battle against Dancing Greed and had reached a higher fever pitch? Or Sugura has allowed her art to run rampant, bringing workout onto the world and life, and if the brood saw onslaught had become savage still. Southhorn sounds a bit soft. Just a little bit. Just a little. Are you sure being monk class is the only reason you're dressed like that? Yes. There is a lot of different classes. Alright, cool. We have unlocked the Savage levels. But Lord knows I'm not going into Savage level stuff. Alrighty. But no, there is all kinds of, classes. So, this is what my guy is looking like right now. Absolutely fucking hideous. But it is what it is. But yeah, I do not know where Towering like, it's not... See, this is the problem, is that, like, I don't see... Alright, now comes the question. Wizened Testimony. Search. So, Wizened Testimony. Speak with Hardboiled. It's in Solution 9, 18.5, 13.6. Uh-huh. So... So it's up. So it's supposed to be, like, somewhere around here. So it should be somewhere up there, but I don't see it. Is it because of the, Crossroads? So you need to have completed the case of the displaced inspector. And we've done Crossroads, as far as I know. Oh, wait, no, hang on. The case of the displaced inspector comes in from Dawn Trail. Okay, so this is all the way back in Tuliol. A Gentleman at Heart. Which is... Okay, so we have done the Gentleman at Heart. So... Okay, so we needed to be in Tuliol. Alright, hang on a second. There it is. Alright, I know. One Last Hurrah is probably where I also need to go as well. But we're gonna focus on... We're gonna focus on Hildebrand first and foremost. Also, I just love this music. Looking rather lost herself, Nashu Makaraka has come west in search of the missing inspector. Why, hello there, Grant. Core, how serendipitous that we should cross paths in this far-flung nation. Have you come all this way to lend me a hand? Because let me tell you, I could use the help. You see, I've been doing my absolute darndest to track down the inspector ever since Mr. Poo-Poo's starship whisked him off to God's only know where. My best lead turned out to be the Thavnarian truth. Eyewitness accounts in the latest issue described a shiny craft headed across the ocean. So I packed a few things and headed as far west as I was able. This is where I ended up. I've made a few inquiries since my arrival, but I've mostly been acclimatizing myself to the native cuisine. Very important step, that. Who's sending me a message? Oh. Anyway, seeing as fate has sent you to assist me, I suppose it's time I continued questioning the locals on the matter of unidentified flying gentlemen. UFGs. Here, this should help aid in our investigation. It's an illustration of the starship, clipped from Dorian's publication. Having this on hand should make it much easier to explain what we're looking for. I'll ask around the markets hereabouts. As for you, well, I've yet to venture beyond the food stalls, so practically anywhere else but here. If you learn any useful information, come and find me around this spot. I'll be stuffing my, ears with delicious intelligence. It is the Landsguard's duty to remain vigilant for threats and unusual development that may warrant their intervention. It may be prudent to visit Bright Plume Post and question the soldiers. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Alright, so we're going up here, then. Oh, who was that? Also, let me change my glamour plate to... Let's go for this one. Oh, this ugly outfit was for the What's-a-Mahoozy Rose. And then this was like, I didn't realize I looked like Shaggy this way. Alrighty, so, yep, we'll talk to these guys. This way. The Savage is just running around doing the quest as well, I imagine. Mobile! Yes? Is there something I can help you with? Actually, I have seen a vessel like this. It was some time before Zorul Jaw's flying ships appeared. I watched it limp northward through the skies above Tuliol, wobbling about like it might crash to the ground at any moment. Dun, 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 dun. Searching for a strange ship, you say? Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I saw a flying disc just like that during a patrol in Shaloni. It was slowly drifting towards the ground and seemed to come down somewhere in Yasulani. If you're determined to find it, then that's where you should try next. What were they calling the place that's covered by the dome now? Heritage Found? Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, now we gotta go talk to her. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. My forays into the stalls bore no fruit at all. None starship-shaped, anyway. How was your harvest, then? Those are some solid leads. Nice work, Grant. So, by the sounds of things, the ship was malfunctioning and eventually came down somewhere to the north of here. With any luck, this hostage found you mentioned will be the place we find the inspector. Yeah, she's not too good with the listening part. It's heritage found. I think you mean heritage found. Well, with you as my escort, I'm sure we'll arrive at the right spot eventually, and none the worse for wear. Shall we head off? Also, if you're wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses, those are the glasses I got from the frog guy during the cruiserweight battles. Oh, we're being followed. Oh, wow, we just instantly teleported here. Okay. The air is all crackly and zappy. This is where the starship supposedly came down, so let's start our search for the inspector. Standard investigation procedures dictate that we question the residents for possible gentleman sightings. Off we go! Cool ears. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that is cool with the sunglasses. That's amazing that it was able to put it in the right spot. Fucking incredible, Joe. Wait, was that placed by you, Joe? Or did Twitch just go, oh, they go slapped on right here? Did they just slap it on like that? That is awesome. Hang on. Is it available for me? Let me see. It does it automatically. It just worked out perfectly. Okay, hang on. So that would be the choose an emote to unlock? No, that's not it. Modify a single emote. Here we go. So, what happens if it's Keck W with the it doesn't work with the Keck W with the sunglasses. So we got Pog with sunglasses, which works. Because unfortunately, Keck W looks like this. Hang on, let's try, what's it like if I use the, actually, no, not that one. Let's go with the Huff Shake. It almost works with, like, the Huff Shake. Oh my goodness. Lord knows that I am going to be like, hey, I need you to make some emotes. And if you do the sunglasses, it has to, like, fit within the sunglasses, thing. Oh my goodness. Alright, hang on. I need to open that real quick. Get into the chat. I need to see if there's a way for me to, like, copy the, what's-mahoozy. Open image in new tab. I'm gonna pin that message, by the by. Yeah, it doesn't work as well with the, save image as. I'm just gonna save this image very quickly, okay? Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Ding all files. So this is the, and I'm gonna save it as a .png. So ideally, it should be saved fine like that. Save image as. So what's this one called? Surprised Pikachu SG. And then all file types .png. There we go. Alright, so we got those saved then. Alright, back over to here. Alright. The outskirts residence. Also, what the fuck is happening to that Lalafell over there? This is a small settlement, and all its inhabitants are known to me. If a man of such distinctive appearance and demeanor were among us, I'm sure I would have noticed. Perhaps he's wandering around somewhere inside Solution 9. They have so many people, he could easily go unnoticed in the crowds. You were here as Queen Spheen's guest, as I recall. If your companion wishes to enter the city as well, then I suggest you make arrangements with the sentry at the tower entrance. Oh, Solution 9! That sounds promising. Thank you for the tip. Look at him! Look at this idiot! Look at this fucking Lalafell idiot over here. Look at them. You loony. Look at him. This fucking idiot over here thinking that they can just touch fucking electrolytes. Fuck, or electrope, sorry. Electrope, or whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, and that's Savage over there. Oh, that's not Savage! What the fuck? Someone stole your fucking look, Savage! Who the fuck is that? Imposter! They stole your fucking look, Savage! Oh my god, everyone's going through a fucking... Who the fuck is that? That looks nothing like me. But you're, like, stand right next to them. Where are you? Where the fuck are you? Oh, you're in the thingy-madiggy at this point, aren't you? Hang on. Bam. Boom. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna quickly screen cap that. That's either you or Velk. Both of you are blue. Also, where's Velk? Ding dong. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're nothing alike. Yeah, okay. Okay, so wrong. Yeah, wrong Rothgar. I'm thinking of the wrong Rothgar. They look nothing like me. Yeah, I've sent a message to Velk. Hopefully they'll have like the whatsamahoozies. It is a little bit funny that it's just like I bet you they're probably wondering like why the fuck it's Yum. Cutscene. Visitor detected. Verifying access rights. Unlimited Everkeep access confirmed. Scanning unregistered visitor. Warning! Warning! Explosive device detected. Entry denied. Fucking course she has explosives on her. I'm not carrying any explosives. This is medicine for treating Inspector Hildebrand's condition. Explosive medicinal compounds? Error does not compute. It's really quite simple. Inspector Hildebrand was sucked up by Mr. Poo-Poo's malfunctioning starship, after which it proceeded to drag him thousands of miles away and deposit him here. Ergo, you need to let me pass so I can blow away his brain cobwebs. Error. Logic circuits overloaded. Emergency shutdown initiated. God, if only it was that simple to take care of these guys back when there was a fucking invasion going off. Huh. Must be nap time. I guess we can just go in. Thank you, Zyph, for the hyper himbo. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? So yeah, I'm just slipping into this thingamadoog. Bing, dong. Also, why does it not detect that I'm streaming right now? Weird. Anyway, you good? I do like this attire, the Vanguard gear. I would most certainly wear the Vanguard gear. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm close to having it all as well. I think I was just missing, like, 2 or 3 parts. And unfortunately, like, you know, at the state that we're at now with the patch, I don't think anyone is going to... Like, hang on a second. Let me just double check my, Yeah, so I've got... So yeah, so got head, got chest. I'm missing the gloves. I've got the legs and the feet. So yeah, so I'm missing the gloves. So I need to find that before we go any further. Core, that's a good-sized city. Well, there's one sure way of locating the inspector in a place like this. If there's an ongoing case, then that's where he'll be. Let's head to the lively part of town and look into any nefarious incidences, shall we? Do you know which is the lively part? True View. And that's in the eastern sector, you say? Right then. Let's get to it. The Realm of the Gods. Oh yeah, I need to, at some point, enter, whatsamahoozies. One of your party members does not meet the... Just hitting Savage with a surprise, thingamadoog. Alright, so Neon Stein is where I need to go. Actually, not... We'll head to the Arcadia and then head down the stairs. That's a better way to do it. Dun 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 dun. Also, that's kind of interesting that you can get both homogeny and mathematics from that Alliance raid. And then there's all this Endwalker normal raid, which I have not yet finished, that I'll need to get through at some point. Yeah, if we want to do that, I have to switch classes since we can't be 2 tanks. Ah, okay. Don't worry about it then. Don't worry about it. Recent troubles. I saw a pair of soldiers mobilizing not moments earlier, responding to a disturbance, it seems. I don't think it was far from here, but I'm a bit hazy on the details. A case, huh? I've heard talk of an odd, squealing creature of some sort, but I don't know if that's the kind of thing you're looking for. So yeah, I might actually make it a party finder if I want to do it, though. Dun, dun, dun. What? Like a crime? Now that you mention it, I did hear about a thief recently. Our city is peaceful by and large, but anywhere you have a lot of people, incidents like these are bound to occur. You don't mind swapping if you're wanting to do the Endwalker raids? We'll go through this mission first. Like, let's go through... Let's at least go through this. Let's at least go through the Hildebrand quests. And then, like, and then we'll move over to Endwalker stuff. I'll ask Velk if he wants to help me with Endwalker. Just doing Hildebrand quest right now, but thinking of doing a party finder for Endwalker Alliance raid. Oh, I also heard about that thief. Something was stolen from a nearby tavern, apparently. I got directions to the scene of the crime, so let's head over there together. Ah. Ugh. The thief absconded with an aged bottle of spirits, the most expensive one in my establishment. I demand you find this criminal at once. No need to get all hot and bothered. The culprit is right under your nose. Oh my god, look at this fucking gentleman. How detective noir! Jesus Christ, I love this look. Admit it, punk! You pinched the hooch. Me? But why would you think... With the supply of souls cut off, folks with a habit have turned to black market rackets, and luxury goods of dubious provenances is one way of paying the asking price. A top-shelf bottle of juice would make for a fine trade, I'd say. By the by, you know there's a method for identifying contraband souls. Your regulator logs would tell the tale. Holy shit, is this guy an actually good detective? Don't want to let us check him? Be my guest. I took a gander at the cabinet where the bottle was stored, and the lock showed obvious signs of tampering. Electro-picking tools are awfully hard to handle, aren't they? Most amateurs get singed, but you've got scorch marks all over your mitts. Give it up, kid! We've got you dead to rights! After they suspended soul provisions, I couldn't stop worrying about the future. It was a moment of weakness! Save it for the authorities. Take him away, boys. That was Inspector Hildebrand, wasn't it? He didn't look very gentlemanly. He must still be in shock after the starship's crash landing. A healthy dose of Nashu's delights will put him to rights. Let's make absolutely sure it's him first, shall we? I suppose that would be the more responsible course of action. Come on, we should hurry along before we lose sight of this ungentlemanly Hildebrand. Dun, 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 dun. He's walked that away, or it was more of a mosey. He looks old. Like, older than normal. Just... It's been a while since I've talked with Hildebrand. He looks like the inspector, but he's a touch old and mopey. 30 years passed inside the dome? Then if Inspector Hildebrand was here when it happened, that would put him in his 50s! He must have been living here so long that he's forgotten everything about his previous life. Luckily, I have just the thing to jog his memory. It's a bomb, isn't it? It's a bomb! Oh my fucking god, he caught on to that real fast. Think I wouldn't have noticed such an obvious tail? I don't know what your game is, but bombs ain't toys. Best put them away before you hurt someone. Or yourself. Like me, I see neither of you are sporting regulators, so I suspect you be more careful with the only lies you've got. Sir, don't you remember us? You're Hildebrand, agent of inquiry, gentleman inspector extraordinaire! I've been called a lot of things, but nothing so insulting as a gentleman. I'm a weathered old fool with too many debts and regrets. Well, I wasn't ready for that one. Detective hard-boiled. Dun, dun, dun. Very impressive. But even with that name and those odd clothes, you might as well be the inspector's older, more wrinkled twin. Hi there, unnamed. Welcome to the stream. How's it going?
Bork.
Bork. Hate to break it to you, but you're barking up the wrong tree.
Bork, 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 bork. Bork, bork, bork. Bork, 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 bork.
This is the Hildebrand stories. If you go through the main storyline of Final Fantasy XIV and you're wondering why else people go into this, it's for this. It's for fucking it's for this side quest of like the insane Hildebrand adventures. There have been 5 of these now. You seem awfully fond of those hard-boiled eggs. Here, this one's on me. Thanks, Dollface. You're a peach. He's gonna... It's a bomb, isn't it? It's a fucking bomb, isn't it? She's turned it into a bomb. That's not an egg. Do not smack it on your face, Hildebrand. It's a bomb. How's it going, Unnamed? Are any of my moderators here? No, they are not. Chat, go check out Unnamed. Go check out this sad yeen. They're blue. They were playing War Thunder. They're addicted to that shit. At some point, I'm going to need to play War Thunder again because there's charity streams that I want to do in June. And one of the things I want to do is make it so that if the right donation level is done, I have to get into a not the arcade difficulty, but the higher difficulty of War Thunder. Is it called realistic or something else? Whew. That's one way to cure a hangover. You got me good. Maybe we really do have the wrong person. Realistic/realism. So yeah, so not the simulation one, but the one that's like in between like the easiest and the hardest. That indestructibility is awfully Manderville-like though. I've seen a few cases of this twin person phenomenon in the dome. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I can see that you're not who I thought you were, and that we need to keep searching. A missing person, is it? If that's the rub, you can leave the sleuthing to me. Oh, we could really use your help. By the sounds of things, this fellow looks a lot like me. What did you say his name was? Hildegrand? I'll find him, don't you worry. I can feel a hunch coming on already. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah. Oh, Unnamed has like a party going off in like an hour or something like that with Solo, where Solo like, you know, hosts like a VR chat thing, and then Unnamed goes and like drinks a whole ton of buzz balls. I don't know, like they've recently shown off a banner. You know what? Fuck it. Let me save this image and let me just show you the fucking ludicrous banner that they've done. Give me a second. If I get fucking banned for this will be so fucking funny because this isn't the first and probably won't be the last time that someone gets banned for this. But ding, dong, bam. They've got buzz boobs. They're basically buzz balls, but boobs. Where the fuck did you... Is that from Freckles? Did Freckles do, like, a rework of, like, one of the artworks or something? Or is that, like, a brand new thing? Yeah, Freckles art. I recognize Freckles art when I see it. Are we sure that isn't the inspector? It's wholly new. Nice. It's so fucking hilarious. Because, like... We don't have buzzballs here in Australia. We don't have them. So hearing like, oh, here's a ball of alcohol sounds so fucking dumb. We don't have that. I'd like to rush off and do some investigative work of my own, but this city still has my head spinning. I think I'll wait and see if this detective Hardboiled is as good as he seems. Meanwhile, you should go back to... Blah, 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 blah. Dun, 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 dun. And we get ourselves a new cutscene! The dame had me looking for a needle in a neon-lit haystack. A city with an allergy to sleep. The twin of mine had well and truly lost himself. The trail was colder than the ice at the bottom of my glass. But I could smell it in the air. Like the cloying stench of cheap perfume. A conspiracy. Stay tuned for further adventure episodes of Detective Hardboiled. Also, if you're wondering who the fuck all those people are, those are different Manderville characters. So, that man there, shaking the glass, is Hildebrand's father, who's like the head of the Manderville estate. That there is the detective lady. She keeps blowing shit up. Like that one there. Somehow, even more ludicrous adventures of Hildebrand. Oh, and that's what he normally looks like. Absolutely fucking naked doing the Hildebrand dance. The inspector has finally set foot upon the Dawn Trail. Get ready for inconceivably further Hildebrand adventures. You know what his case will be this time? When it happens, whatever happens, you'll be there on the scene. Just blowing shit up. And now we get on to it. The Wizened Testimony. So now we get into the Hildebrand adventures that, you know, this patch has released. Patch 7.25. Grant! Here to help again, are you? As things stand, I'm still waiting on word from yours truly, I assume. Here he is. Detective Hardboiled. Since parting ways, I've searched every alley and dive bar in Everkeep for signs of this Hildebrand character. It's pronounced Hildebrand. Well, however you say it, he was nowhere to be found. Oh? Where could the inspector be? Chin up, dollface. The case ain't over yet, and I always get my man. Hi there, Big DJ, welcome to the stream. I am going through the Hildebrand adventures. This here is not Hildebrand. This here is a fella named Detective Hardboiled. He looks like Hildebrand and has a similar sort of composition to Hildebrand, but I think he's like just, you know, a shard of Hildebrand from, you know, the shard that Everkeep's come from and such. So now we're going into the even bizarrely further adventures of Hildebrand as we're trying to find out where our Detective Inspector Hildebrand has gone. Detective Hardboiled over here, he's just popped out of a Detective Noir kind of status, so we're trying to get through that. How's your evening going? I'm all out of Pepsi Cola. Hey chat, check out my throne. You'll find there's a, hang on. Check out my throne. Fuck. It's not working. There we go. Thank you. Check out my throne. There is a number of things on there. It would be nice to get a new controller because this piece of shit that I have in my hand right now has lasted me like maybe 2 or 3 years, but like, the thumbstick is now, like, angling off to the right. The padding is worn down. The buttons are not as receptive. The bumpers are, like, weaker now. And, yeah, I've worn down, like, the cross-hatching things for the grippy nonsense. It's not doing too good. is going good. You're playing some Warframe right now. God, I remember Grindframe. There has been so many games that I've played that have actually been in the MMO kind of area. Warframe, War Thunder, Final Fantasy, Silk Road. There has been a lot of games out there in the... Oh, and at one point Helldivers 2, but I've kind of dropped that for like the last little bit. There's too many games for me to play. And quite frankly, the only way I would be able to like jump to like all the different games I'd want to play, I would just not have to focus on streaming. I would just have to be like, fuck it, we're gonna play this game and then, you know, maybe stream it while I do it and not give a shit what chat says. We'd have to, like, Truman Show it or something like that. When the trail goes cold, the trick is to go back to the beginning. I want you to tell me the whole story again and leave nothing out, no matter how unimportant it might seem. MMORPG. Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Glug, glub, glug, glub, glug.
So, you followed rumors of the flying disc which nabbed your friend, and that led you to the place where it most likely crashed down. Here. You also think he was caught inside the dome when it appeared. And from your perspective, you went through 30 years in the blink of an eye. Sounds like crazy talk. But I've seen enough strangeness in my line of work that I've learned to give clients the benefit of the doubt. And since we've got no leads on the man himself, I say we try jogging memories about the shiny starship instead. We'll want to question older people native to your world who might have witnessed the original crash landing 30 years ago. Folks that age seem to enjoy parks, like the one outside the residential radii. Let's go. Thank you for the self-care, by the by. Dun, dun, dun. Alrighty. Ding, dong. So, we need to head over to there. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. And then there's Savage, who's in our party right now. He's probably going through the quests and what have you. Ah, knows. Da -da 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 -da. Yep. Alright, so we head to the information center first. Excuse me. Old-timers aplenty, as promised. Pick a prune and get to it. Oh, I still have the illustration I lent you last time. Showing it around should help nudge some ancient noggins. I added a sketch of the inspector's face to make things even easier. I have another copy for myself, but that only makes two. Grant, you and Detective Hardboiled will have to share. Dun 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 dun. Well, we are talking 3 years ago here, so having a picture should come in handy. Even if the dame's work is on the same level as a finger-painting toddler's magnum opus. Grant, was it? Well, you let me know when you're ready to bother some park-goers. Right, let's start showing that picture around. Keep an eye out for older Hyune and Hitesero that might have hailed from outside the dome. Oh, and don't forget the Shatona. He is now accompanying me. Alrighty, let's go talk to this fella here. May I help you? I'm sorry, but 30 years ago I was practically an infant. Far too young to remember much of anything. That picture is very cute, though. Did your child draw it for you? Yeah. Our what's-a-mahoozy lady is an idiot. Alrighty. What can this old lady do for you? "30 years ago? I honestly don't recall. My memories of that time are faded at best, my dears. This is a lovely drawing of you, though, sir. Really captures your essence. That slack-jawed mug? You gotta be kidding me." Alright, so, we've questioned a middle age where you seem like an infant. The elderly is not exactly too spry. Let's try this elderly gentleman. Jesus Christ, you've got no fucking hair! What would you want with me, then? I can't say I'm familiar with it. Ah, but I do remember 3 decades ago when I was still in the bloom of youth. Well, middle-aged. Say, I remember you. The clever git who took back me purple tonic from that thieving whoreson. That was a good bit of sleuthin' it was. No need for that. Was just doing my job. Sorry to see that tonic didn't do its job, though. It's not about growing me hair back. It's about the routine. About 40 years of massaging me scalp. No, Joe! About 40 years of massaging me scalp and basking in the same fragrant aromas every morning. Doesn't feel right to start the day without it. 40 years of using an Everkeep-made product? Ah, that's right. You're Alexandrian, born and bred, same as me. There's no way you could have seen the starship we're after. Sorry to bother you, sir. Well, no one said it would be easy dredging up eyewitnesses' accounts from so long ago. This is where grit and persistence comes into it. I spied a Chateauneuf fella heading towards the 914 radius. Hard to guess his age with how long they live, but who knows?
I see is cute. Uwu.
Maybe we'll get lucky this time. Hi there, Masonic. Welcome to the stream. What does he got to say about the vending machines? Vending machines caught your eye? Yeah, you can buy yourself a coffee or an energy drink, but luxuries like that make you soft. When I'm alone, walking through the darkest, dingiest parts of the city, I need something as weathered and weary as I am. I'll stick to my eggs, thanks. How's it going, Masonic? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Man of interdeterminate age. Lovely day, isn't it? Oh, it's a bunny boy. Bunny man! One fellow bunny to another. I'm not sure I recognize the man. Hard to tell with such a simple drawing. Forget about the drawing. We're more interested in what you know about the flying disc. Ah, yes. The craft I do recall seeing. When I yet felt the sun upon my face, I was living a very different kind of life at the time. It was during a hunt that I spotted it. Flying machines were a rare sight back then, so I remember it well, even now. And do you remember where it was headed? It appeared to crash— No, not my hair again, Masonic! My eyes! It appears to crash somewhere in Yata into the north. I was of a mind to seek out the wreckage, but then the dome suddenly appeared. And I had cookie for Bookie! Here's your cookie, Bookie! How goes your morning, Bookie? But then the dome suddenly appeared, and I had far, far stranger things to worry about. There, what did I tell you? Let's find your pal, Nashu, and share the good news. Your morning is as based as fuck? Is it now? Is it because of the cookie? I think it's because of the cookie. Jump. Jump. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Alright. Oh, it's not just the cookie. Ah, okay, fair enough. Ah. Dun. Dun 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 dun. No one seems to know anything about the starship. Did you fare any better? So it came down somewhere near this. You were a Yucata place? I don't suppose either of you have been there before. A research facility, you say? If some unidentified shiny object fell from the sky nearby, then I'd wager their people soon scooped it up. It seems we have our destination. But how to get across the lake? That we could. The Reforgers have a few, and I happen to know one of an accommodating disposition. Ring, 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 ring. Right, that's our transportation sorted. What I'm stuck on, though, is how you've already been to this Yawata when I've only just learned such a place even existed. What's your deal, anyway? I'm Grant, agent of adventure. You adventure for a living? Is that it? Well, it's clear you're no fresh-faced mook. Let's press on with the investigation. My Reforger friend should have a hover cargo waiting for us at the Drift Downs. I better pack a dose of Nashu's Delights. Those explosives of yours? Leave them behind. Don't need no dizzy dame blowing herself up on my watch, or me for that matter. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, tired. Even though I treated myself to like a morning, what's-a-mahoozies? Even though I treated myself to having my morning be a meal instead of a diet shake, I am still tired as fuck. It is a wonder that I am awake at this hour. The only other way I can, like, try and not yawn is... I don't know. Dun, dun, dun. Thank you for the head pats. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I hear you need transport to Uewawata. The hover cargo is ready for you if you are. Yes, I am. Tell me more, tell me more. Ba 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 da da da. Tell me more, tell me more. Ba ba da da da. Alrighty. This place is a mess, but I don't see any monsters roaming the halls, at least. Should be safe to split up and have a look around. Oh, wait, hang on. Shuffled through the various documents in the cabinet, you find one entitled Confidential Files Addendum 1. According to an associate native to these lands, the unidentified vessel we recovered near Uewawata has flown into the region not long before the dome manifested. Their testimony was corroborated by a thorough examination of the wreckage, which yielded not a single slither of electrope. The vessel was, without a doubt, manufactured using technology fundamentally unlike our own. This mystery was further compounded by the discovery of a Huni survivor within the craft. Despite the adamant forces of the impact, the lone male occupant has sustained no visible injuries. Skimming through the various documents, you find Confidential Files Addendum 2. The Hune male we extracted from the wreckage is an abnormal specimen indeed. While physically unharmed and in clear possession of a soul, he yet remains in a comatose state. The absence of reaction to any and all external stimuli is indicative of temporal stasis. Every method we have attempted, be it electrical shock, a hot bath, a sharp slap across the face, has failed to wake the subject. Is his remarkable corporeal fortitude an innate natural quality, or was it acquired with the aid of unknown technology? My enthusiasm for this research knows no bounds. A lot of people being pickled in there, but Inspector Hildebrand isn't among them. Speaking of which, did you see where Detective Hardboiled went? No, I have not. Excuse me. Yeah. Nothing. Oh, something in here. An abandoned clipboard, probably with addendum number 3. Yep. I cannot understand the immaculate potential I see. I cannot understate the incalculable potential I see in our mystery subject. If we could but unlock the secrets of his preternatural resilience, then we would never again need risk the dangers inherent in the transfer of monstrous souls. While some of my colleagues insist that vivisection is our only recourse, such an extreme measure would mean forsaking the knowledge the man might impart to us regarding his equally intriguing flying vessel. For the time being, we have decided to suspend all research related to this subject. The specimen will be preserved in a cryo capsule in Sector 51 and placed under observation in the hopes that he will one day regain consciousness. Alright, let's sprint. Oh, there's Hardboiled. Grant, sorry, something else in the records caught my attention. It had led me to a different floor. Had to rustle up a verification key first, so I haven't spent any time on your starship mystery. Did you turn up anything yet? They were keeping him in Sector 51? The key I found should let us access that area. Let's grab your pal Nashu and head there now. Inspector Hildebrand, there you are! Is he in the little thingamadiggy here? Yes, he is, and look at him. Just forever posed. You two been yanking my chain? This clown doesn't look anything like me. Well, opinions aside, we've located our man. A hard-boiled egg would really hit the spot right now. She's about to make an explosion, isn't she? Here, give this to the detective. Fine. Oh my god, I got a cool outfit. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not gonna say anything, I'm just gonna give him the egg. Why are cat ladies so sexy for no reason? And it fucking explodes again. Idiot. Yep, just explosion. Thank you, Joe, for the 10 bits to do the Gigantify mode. I never could refuse the kindness of strangers. I reckon we're about to have a problem. Oh my god, it's fucking zombies. Are you fucking oh my god, there's way too many of them. These punks must be feeling lucky. Oh my god, it's a gun. It's actually a cool looking gun, let me tell you. Hildebrand? We kind of need that. There's no need for firearms nor fisticuffs. I shall resolve this altercation in a manner that behooves a gentleman. Attention, everyone! Follow my lead, if you please. It's the Mandeville dance. Dun, 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 dun. The Mandeville dance. Ding. Splendid! Most splendid! Let us remember to always compose ourselves in a gentlemanly manner. Crazy. Also, put some clothes on! I fear I may have overslept a trifle. But I, Hildebrand, well-rested agent of inquiry, now stand before you, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Ding. By the by, who is this austere-looking fellow? A new admirer of mine, mayhaps? This is Detective Hardboiled, your soul twin from another world. Why, my dear Nashu, this man possesses nary a speck of my singular aplomb. He does not resemble me in the slightest. I couldn't agree more. My sweet old grandmother has more grit in her pinky finger. That's odd. Maybe I need new glasses, but the two of you seem practically identical. The odd thing here is how you look too damn young for a fellow who's been sleeping for 30 years. And don't get me started on how you charmed those shambling corpses. What kind of crime against nature are you? The Inspector has a very unique physique, for one, and as for the zombies, he's had an excellent rapport with them ever since his brief stint as an undead overlord extraordinaire. That raises more questions than answers. Still, we can consider your missing person case closed. Which leaves me to chew on the something else that caught my attention earlier. I smell a new case brewing, and I mean to follow my nose. A case, you say? Then allow me to offer the services of Hildebrand, Inspector Extraordinaire. Undead Overlord seems more plausible to me at this juncture. But, Albright, what does a fellow like you even inspect? Impenetrable mysteries and unsolved cases, of course! So, we're in the same business, eh? Makes me wonder how this gentleman act of yours actually helps you get the job done. I, too, am curious to see if beneath that leathery gumshoe exterior, you have the gumption to handle the truly difficult cases. The dame. She's your assistant. Loyal and steadfast. I had an assistant once. But now ain't the time to reminisce. We have a new case to work on. This'll just be the thing to prove your sleuthing chops, Inspector. Let's get out of here and get back to brass tacks. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Excuse me. Next mission. I think there's like 4 of these we need to go through. Let me double check. Hang on. One. Okay, so there's 2. Okay, I thought there was 4, but nope, there's 2. As I was saying, I got a whiff of a new case in the making, so listen up while I explain the particulars. You said you scoured this place top to bottom and learned that they were trying to stuff people's souls into monstrous hosts, but the facility was forced to close down before they managed any real success. Sound about right? I'm guessing whatever incident turned the staff into walking corpses happened not long after. Here's where it gets interesting. According to the notes I found, one of the researchers survived and continued to work independently even after the project was mothballed. Gasp. Apparently, he dismissed the Tural Vidral as impossible to control and instead chose to pursue his research using less ordinary beasts. Are you suggesting this mad scientist transferred his own soul into some slavering fiend? Nothing so mad as all that. No, he saved that honor for convicted criminals. Seems he set up fake rehabilitation programs, had the prisoners transferred, then yanked out their souls for use in his experiments. How awful! And what became of those criminally minded creatures? That's the million credit question. I tracked down the containment cell mentioned in the notes, but found the cage inside emptier than a barfly's tumbler. Gasp. A little digging into the operations log showed the cage locks were opened only recently, which means... we find ourselves on the case of the fiendish fugitives. We must seek out and apprehend these dastardly evildoers on the double. He stole his bit. Hi there, Wild Saber. Welcome to the stream. Did it. Super Earth is safe, but sadly we lost the president. On a lighter note, they're literally handing out CO1 breeding permits like candy. What the fuck is going on in Helldivers? Jesus. Oh, last I heard of it, yes, the president did get assassinated, but we were trying to hold, like, Super Earth safe and shit. Yes, there's a chance they're out there causing trouble. And as a detective, I can't turn a blind eye when I suspect wrongdoing is afoot. Luckily, I also found a storage device that I figured belonged to the author of those research notes. It's pretty banged up, but I think the data might still be intact. Let's head back to Solution 9. I'll take this thing to my place in the recreation zone and see what I can recover. Dun. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum-bum. Alrighty, so now we gotta head back into Solution 9, which is up here. You can sum up the next Fallout 76 season in one little song. You got your rod, you got your bait, and all I got is sit and wait for the big old fish to come my way. Here, fishy fishy. Not too interested in Fallout 76. I know Dazarus is going through Fallout 76, but yeah, I wasn't too interested in Fallout 76 myself. Like, there was a shit ton of bugs, and, like, I'm gonna be real, like, the whole Fallout, like, universe does not interest me that much. What in the world? The Oblivion Guard? We've decided to keep the soldiers here armed to drive away any wild beast that might wander too close to Everkeep. But seeing as how many people live in the area as well, we're taking turns patrolling it. We'll all have the code for emergency shutdown so we can handle any surprises. Nice. Solution number 1. Excuse me, nose. Ask me about my wiener. Wasn't that from, blah, 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 22 Jump Street? Is that what you're going on about? Are they, like, opening up a fucking university or high school that you have to infiltrate or some shit? Neonstein. Alright, there he is. And once again, we've got this Lalafell, but we can't do anything about them. Are they aware of the Lalafell trailing us? Core, I never noticed how far down it went. Illusion Shine is a most impressive metropolis. Solution 9. My god, these guys can't get their names straight. Right. I'll take a crack at this storage device. You're better off waiting outside. I'm not the kind of guy who makes his bed every morning, to say the least. Neither am I. I don't do that nonsense either. Dun 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 dun. Alrighty. New outfit, good for you. Well, the bad news is the device was even worse shaped than I expected. It'll be a little while before I can recover all its contents. A quick pass netted me some scraps, though, enough to piece together a partial file on one of the experimental subjects. It states our surviving researchers stuck the soul of a career thief into the body of an Cyclops. This light-fingered fella didn't steal out of greed, but for the joy of pissing off his victims. Twisted guy like that ain't likely to change his stripes just 'cause he switched bodies. Yes, 'tis all becoming clear to me. His intentions are obvious. Our impish escapee will burgle the most prestigious jewelry store in the city. As soft-boiled a guess as any I've ever heard, your instincts are way off, pal. Ever seen a nightclubs before, have you? If one of those big brutes was lumbering around the streets, all we'd have to do is follow the screams. No, if he's plotting a heist, it'll involve a target outside Everkeep, and he won't be aiming to pilfer any old supply crate either, but something that'll really cause a nuisance. Electrope. Alexandria's got a habit only the miraculous ore can satisfy. We need to hustle to the quarry outside, and I mean now. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Alrighty. Ding dong. Moving on. Moving right along. Alright, so we need to go to Electrope Strike next. Maybe we'll get into a fight. Dun 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 dun. Ba 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 ba. And once again, there's the idiot getting electrocuted by Electrope. Look at him. That dumb Lalafell. Yes, I work here. Was there something you needed? Have we had any thieves? Funny you should ask, actually. We've had several shipments of raw Electrope go missing in recent days. The strangest part is that our guards didn't see a damn thing. You'd need a hover cargo to move those heavy blocks, and surely someone would have noticed it coming and going. There. What'd I tell you? A sneaky Cyclops could have run off with those blocks without breaking a sweat. You know who the culprit is, then? If there's anything I can do to help catch them, just say the word. That's mighty kind of you, friend. Then let's have you bait the trap with a stack of Electrope, placed conveniently out of sight of your patrols. We'll do the rest. One tempting stack of Electrope coming up. Dun, 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 dun. There. That should do the trick. Color that thief for me, will you? Oh, and do be careful while you're at it. That guy is suspicious with that weird fucking smile. The trap is set. Now we wait. And waiting we shall. And even more waiting. And even more waiting. Nothing but waiting. And something upset him. And here we are. Oh, this is perfect. Maybe a little too perfect. Not good, not good. That's our thief! After him! Alright, on we go. Nyom. My wrist. Hang on. Also, why is there so little... Oh, Chemist Warehouse, that's why. We've lost sight of our quarry. He's right... Oh, he's in with all the other Cyclopses is why. And he's gone to ground in the middle of a field of Cyclopses. We got us a wise guy. Not a tough guy, though, according to his file, says he's got no stomach for fighting, so we just need to split up and find the one that doesn't try to squish us on sight. Of course, even if he is a coward, he's a big boy now, so he might try to go down swinging. Shout out if you hit pay dirt, and we'll take him together. Alrighty. Ding. Dun, dun, dun. So it's not this guy. Dun, dun, dun. Alrighty. Okay, so we need to go over there. Alright, here we go, here we go. You're awake now? How should you need me? Excellent. Also, did you see the imposter I found? Alright, now we just need to find an Cyclops that is not wanting to fight us. Oh, there's the Cyclops. Hang on, I need to get out of here. There we go. So that should stop that Cyclops. And this one doesn't want to fight us. And he's smaller than the others as well. Me, not bad, Cyclops. Cyclopses don't talk. Ah! You just got here. You've not done Hildebrand. This is the second mission in the Hildebrand for patch 7.25. So I had to go to Nashu over in Tuliol first, and then we went over, and then we ended up in Solution 9. We found Detective Hardboiled. He cracked an egg and it exploded, and then, you know, then we got into patch 7.25. We went through one mission, we found Hildebrand, and now we're trying to find a thieving Cyclops. The inspector and the detective set off in pursuit of that screaming Cyclops. Come on, let's not get left behind. And yeah. Damn it all! We have you now, fiend. There's nowhere left to... Yep. Shoot first, ask questions later, this detective is. Ow! It's like being stabbed by 1,000 tiny needles. So yeah, there's two Hildebrands. One's our Inspector Hildebrand, the other is Detective Hardboiled. Out with it, punk. Where did you stash the goods? Who set you free? Oh, let me whip out my gun. As this I'll tell the likes of you. Have it your way. I hear this stings worse than chili sauce in your eye. No! Now, detective. Threats and intimidation do not become a gentleman. Move, damn it, move! Give a man a criminal a chance and they'll make you wish you hadn't. We're not gonna get a good hit on the guy while he's distracting him. My turn! Is it our time to fight him? Nope, he's got hit again. Idiot. Oh! He really is a big boy. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you're getting. This is my show now. Lose the gun or the girl gets it. Damn, that's a good gun as well. I do like the look of it. You two, weapons on the ground. Oh, why is he twitching? Ooh, that was a cool shot. Ah, my eye! You had your chance to come quietly. Say goodnight, sunshine. If the Warrior of Light had to put their weapons down, it would take all day with the amount they carry. It would just... It would be funny, honestly, if someone did do that. Like, have you seen that Lethal Weapon skit where it's like, now throw me your guns, and all the guns get thrown? It would be funny if someone did that as an animation. It's like, now throw me all your weapons, and it's just all the relic weapons you grab because of the fact that you can't get rid of relic weapons from your inventory, so it's just filled with all the different class weapons from relics, and it's just like, because there would be like what, like, because there's like what, 12 weapons to a patch, so there would be at least like, you know, 30, there'd be 30 plus weapons just being thrown because of like all the relics. You idiot. I, Hildebrand, agent of Inquiry, Abender, at Horse, Axe of the Islands. That is ridiculous. Core, the inspector's all lit up! You gotta be kidding me. That shot has enough juice to take down a Umpharium. So bright! Too bright for me to bear! Ridiculous. Ah, the pain is akin to stepping barefoot on a Koblian's back. Master Thief, are you certain you aren't willing to speak with us? You shone like a precious jewel. I yield. I'll tell you everything. Soft-boiled and cracked. I never wanted the electrope. The researcher who freed us commanded me to steal it, and I handed over every block I took. So you weren't just being your usual thieving self. Alright, so what's this researcher's name? He never told me his name, I swear. I know him only as the man who made us into monsters. He already had some scary-looking bruiser working for him, so I didn't dare refuse his orders. No idea where we might find him, then? No. I was supposed to meet him out here with my latest haul, but you can bet he slipped away after realizing I wasn't alone. That's it, and that's all I can give you. Alright, I believe you. This case has taken a fishy turn. But even if you were an unwilling subject in all this, you still have crimes to answer for. I'm handing you over to the Tin Men authorities. Don't worry, I'll explain how you're a crook in monster's clothing so they don't just send you to the Arcadian for slaughter. Just scratching my chin. Do I want to go to the Yeens party? As for the rest of you, meet me back at my place in Solution 9. Yay! It is really tempting to go to the Yeens party. The Yeens party goes off in like 10 minutes. Alrighty, where does it want me going next? Alright, it wants me heading back to Solution 9 then. Yeah, I kind of want to go to the VR chat party. I'll try to join, but I usually hang out with some friends on some other games. Oh, you mean the VR chat thing? Yeah. I'm very much tempted. Neonstein is where we need to go next. Okay, cool. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Like, I just want to have like a casual weekend. And I'm doing this Saturday morning stream like more out of obligation than out of like, you know, interest. Like, yeah. Excuse me. Surely Detective Hardboiled must now acknowledge my dazzling investigative skills. In your dreams, pal. I handed the Cyclops over to the authorities and gave them the lowdown on our case. You can bet your last bean. I thought that it was peen. You can bet your last bean that researcher Felta has other monsters doing his dirty work. I can't figure his angle yet, but he's up to no good, that's for sure. Wherever those criminals are now, they're also fugitives. They'll be operating as far away from our mechanical sentries as possible, maybe even beyond the confines of the dome. And that's a whole world I ain't familiar with. If you're keen to stay on the case, then I could use your help out there. You shall have it, of course. Inspector Hildebrand is at your service. Get my trench coat in a twist when your pal started dancing in front of my gun, and it's only fair I tell you why. Has to do with a man who had his fingers in every illegal pie in Alexandria. The Crime King, they called him. It was me who caught his royal rogueness and sent him to rot in a prison cell. But after being transferred elsewhere under the auspice of some rehabilitation program, I hadn't heard a peep. I see you've connected the dots. Could be that elsewhere was Uewata's... Yeah. Me and him have got a history, so if he's running free out there, somewhere in a new monster skin... I want to be the one to bring him down. Your unwavering commitment is commendable, Detective Hardboiled. I, Hildebrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, hereby swear to remain steadfastly by your side until we brought this case to its resolution. I don't recall asking that soft-boiled dope to do a whole damn thing. Anyhow, I'll get back to pulling scraps of data from that box. Drop by next time you're in the neighborhood. Maybe I'll have a new lead for us to follow. Dun 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 dun. Is this another cutscene? Meanwhile, somewhere in Heritage Found... I'm guessing this is the mad scientist. I was hoping to see our hulking Cyclops squish those curious rats. The craven fool surrendered with barely a struggle. But no matter. I have more than enough electrope now to proceed with my plans. Given the right direction, you outlaws have proven most useful, especially with the aid of our new monstrous talents. Okay. So that's a goopy guy. I'm guessing that's the crime lord, or crime king, sorry. That's most likely the crime king. When making hard-boiled eggs, you want to boil for the same length of time every time. 12 minutes exactly. Any less, they're too soft. Any more, they're overcooked. We're out of time today, so here are some I prepared earlier. That's a bomb. God fucking damn it, why is Crazy so sexy? Stop giving him bombs! Idiot! The manufacture of my egg-shaped medicine is a closely guarded trade secret, so don't try to make your own at home. Keep safe and stay tuned for the next episode of Inconceivably Further Hildebrand Adventures. Hi there, Mr. Brightside. Welcome to the stream. See you, Inspector. Hi. I'ma be real. I want to go to the Yeen's party. I'm gonna call the stream here. I'm gonna call the stream here because I want to go to the Yeen's party. I'm sorry. I want to go to the Yeen's party. I haven't gone to them in a long while, and, you know, it's be wild, do crime. You have fun at the party? Thank you. I appreciate those of you that because I've not been able to see the Yeen for, like, weeks. And, like, there's a few things, like, it would be nice to hang out with them and have a weekend where it's sort of like a, you know, sort of a relax and an opportunity to be able to, like, hang out with people and socialize in that area rather than, like, sort of this parasocial thing that we got going on. So, yeah, I'm so sorry. If you were hoping for me to do, like, a 4-hour stream or something like that, I'm sorry. It's just, like, you know, it's just not in me. It's just not in me. I'll definitely need to have, like, a better idea of, like, how much I want to go through, because Lord knows there's stuff from patch 7.25 that we'll need to be going through and what have you. So, yeah, we'll need to figure all that nonsense out. For those of you that are wanting some more action, though, let's go and have a look and see who is online and who we can go and raid. Alright. Well, I am gonna go hang out with the Yeen at their VR chat party. Here, we're gonna have you go and... let's go raid into, Cyrus Hyena. They look to be a null Yeen of some sort. Their Fat Fuck Friday is what they're going through right now, and they're playing something called Lakia Aged Through Blood. So hopefully you'll join in with me on the raid message for this. It's okay if you don't have the emotes or if you don't want to use the raid message. But yeah, thank you everyone who came along to this morning's stream. I understand it was short. I appreciate those of you who came along. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is that you are. I hope to see you you on a better day. I will probably go through Devil May Cry on Monday, but otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.